assume they are.
So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft. We'll make game for a laugh!
Yeah.
And yes, and now my computer is being mean, and I can't actually select anything. We're here! There, yeah!
We are live.
We are live. Welcome. We're doing a show. We're on show, well, a million, but anyway, we're on number 2 out of a 3-part series talking about stress, and we're coding a game to do with that. So we're trying to emulate how stress affects you in the real world in a game to help you to share your views, for you to think about using games to present ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and in all that. And Pears have funded us for that, so thank you, Pears. TJ, have you ever played a game and it stirred up any emotions in you?
Oh, probably quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of emotions?
Sadness,
yeah.
Definitely. If like a main character is like, readed from the story, or I felt. How would you describe it when you get like all the good guys kind of rally at the end?
The swell of it's kind of like pride, it's joy,
excitement.
Yeah. So definitely
that's definitely a good one.
Yeah. And I like games that make me laugh. There's a few games like Undertale and some other stuff that's really made me laugh. So it's great. Okay, so we're going to make a game which is going to stress people out. We're so nice, aren't we? We could have chosen pride. We could have chosen all the positive things there. Stress. There we go. So in the game so far, we've used Click Team, and it's a free-to-use engine, Click Team Fusion, and we've got objects flying up, and they come back down, and I've got a bat that I can rotate around, and I can knock it around. And so we've got good and bad items. Item 1, item 2, and bad. There we go. Just in our asset list over there. So that's what we've got in our game. Now, TJ very kindly has gone on the internet and he's got some royalty-free artwork for us. Go on, TJ. What's royalties?
Royalties or royalty-free is when it's not copyright, so you can use them and you don't have to pay for the right to use them. They are royalty free. If you used royalty items, you would pay revenue towards the creator.
Yep. And so you can get some items where you have to buy the royalty-free license, but these are free royalty-free ones, and we use a website called Pixabay. Now, we've got these cute kids. What I'm going to have to do is separate them because they're a bit Siamese, so I'm just in Photoshop at the moment, which this isn't free, but there's other programs, GIMP, like GIMP, and some other stuff that you can use, or you can just use Click Team Fusion's own things. But I'm just going to use the magic wand and get rid of her hair, and just getting used to the full version.
Give it a little trim.
Yeah, there we go. Cut off a pigtail. There we go. That's what I need to do. And then I can separate this lad from his friend there. Boo. Separated. Oh, that went wrong. Oh, there we go. And put him in a whole new place to himself. So, there we go. Good. And then just to resolve the issue of that he's got a missing hand, I'm going to attempt to probably use this hand and move it across. So I'm using something called it's a cutting tool. Is it marquee? What is it called? It's called it's not going to tell me now. Lasso and polygon lasso. It's the lasso tool. That's it. A marquee is this one, isn't it? Yeah. And it's for cutting out shapes. Every time I click, it does it. It forms a line, and we can then use that to create a box, which then in turn we can use to take over the world. That's basically what we're doing there. Okay, so let's set his hand to that size. Let's get rid of his original hand there. Yeah, go on.
She's not important. She doesn't need the face.
This is well. Thank you very much. That's it's always nice to have a view, even if it's a slightly harsh view. So yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna take ages. I'm actually all right at Photoshop, but not under pressure. So I'm just going to probably leave it at that, and you can just have a weird. Oh, I'll just leave it like that. Just leave it like that, and just leave it like that. That's what I'll do. Although annoyingly, I've given him a white background rather than a transparent background. So there's a sort of a colour that gets used for things being see-through, and I loaded up my background colour as white rather than transparent. And these little chessboard colours, that's what transparent is. So I've now I've messed it all up. I'll now need to recut him out, which should be easy enough. If I do that. And do that, and then do that, then do that, and then do that. There! Although I've removed his eyes. Who needs eyes anyway? Well, people to see, I suppose. But let's pop them back in. Cool, that took a lot longer. This is why I don't normally do Photoshop stuff while...
Live Photoshop.
Yeah, here we go. There we go. It's not great. This plaster tool is for fixing spots and things. It's like a blemish tool. I'm going to if I just apply that to his hand, will I fix the... No, he's now gone green. No, it was that intelligent...
He's hulking out.
Yeah, just his hand. So I'll save that back in, and I'm saving it as a PNG file. PNG files allow transparency, so I'll save that as boy. Now, do I attempt to do the girl? Go on then, quickly, because she's not going to be as complicated as him. Oh, reverting, revert, just like the cha-cha slide. Now, reverting is going back to how things were, which is something we all wish we could do. And continuous means that it follows on. So if I want to use a continuous cut on this guy. Right, there we go. Get rid of his hand. That was easy. Get rid of his face. There we go. And then I can just chop him out. And then that was much easier. Didn't have to recreate any bits. Good. Right, he's gone. Oh, I had something called feathering turned on. If you look up here, feather. Now, feathering makes a nice fade and nice blend for things to join on, like the edge of a feather. I totally want feathering to be 0, because when I cut this out, I want a nice sharp line and not a fade. So, there we go. Yeah.
It's a fade.
Now, let's save that as a girl. And then we've got a hedgehog, and we've got a bouncy castle. Now, you can imagine the stress of looking after kids. But if you mix in a hedgehog, especially one with such hideous colour tone, let's just... what I'm going to do...
2 just in case.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is the best of the worst. So this is... I'm going to get the colour of the kid's skin and put it on the hedgehog so it gets a bit confusing of what's a hedgehog. Turn it off continuous so that it fills up. There we go. And then the kid's hair is slightly darker, so I'll just do that on the hedgehog as well, so that the player might, there we go, confuse the two together. And maybe the nose as well can go darker colour. Yep. So save that as a hedgehog. Looks a lot less scary than he did previously, in my opinion. Hedgehog. And then finally, the bouncy castle. Right, now we're going to use resizing, but we're going to use things called skew. Now, skewing allows us to stretch things out of proportion. Our game, our world, our frame is 800 by 480. So if I get this canvas size to be, I'm going to go will it fit in 800 by 480? So 800 will double that. 480 doubled about 1,000, something and 60. 960? 480. 960. Yes, answer in the comments if I've got it wrong. There we go. And so this is the right scale. Now, we spoke before about scale. Scale means that the up and downness matches, but the size might not match, but the up and down might not. There we go. Nearly there. Stretch, stretch, stretch. There we go. And that's now put into the scale. And then I'm just going to cut out the inside of it. Good. So, TJ, anything
Yes.
stressed you out today, or has it been a stress-free day?
Currently stress free. Yeah.
Good.
I slightly I bumped my elbow on the door earlier,
Oh,
so
in
I
the
was
funny
for like a
place.
split second.
Yeah.
No, just in a painful one.
Yeah.
So for like a slight second, I was stressed, but yeah, it's been fine. How about yours?
Yeah, I think mine's been good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got deadlines coming up, which I say things that stress me out. But the fact is,
Mhm.
summer holidays are coming up, so that's something that de-stresses me out. So I'm in
Yeah.
equilibrium, balanced. Every time I think, oh, I've got lots to do, I think, oh, but after I've done it, it's the summer holidays. So
There you go.
it's all good, balancing out. So yes, in chat, is anyone stress-free or not stress-free today? Let us know. Right, item one,
Do
item
let us
two
know.
is going to be the boy and the girl. So I will just grab those, and they are in my J drive. And in the stress folder. There it is. Pop it up. Right, it's the boy. There he is. Great. And because he's got transparency, it's remembered that. He's now massive. So let's shrink him down to the correct size. And then, oh, the bad is going to be the hedgehog. Have to remember not to forget the girl. Okay. Okay. And shrink him down size. Woo.
Our chat is stress free.
That is amazing. That's great.
This is what we want. Good.
See, and if we had asked that 4 months ago, maybe it wouldn't be. So maybe it's people are settling in well. So
Yeah.
this whole the whole crisis, well done for being stress free after 4 months of worldwide pandemic, because
Yes.
it's not easy. There we go. Got the boy, got the girl, got the hedgehog. Ooh, make her the same size. The easiest way to make things the same size in Clicked Infusion, here's a quick tip, as they get called, is you click on the size and position, and it's got width and height, 5486. So 54. Was it 54? Yeah, 5486. Didn't know. So 5486. Fantastic. And that's done it. Now, if you notice, she should have been wider than 86 because of her pigtails, I think. So what I'll do is I'll just get her height to be 50. Her height to be 54. Didn't update then. 54. Sorry, her height to be 86. And her width to be whatever I think is appropriate. So yeah, about 70. There we go. Now, all that resizing will have messed up the hotspot. That hotspot is
Hotspot.
very much not where it should be. And where should it be in for physics-based games, TJ?
The gravitational center of an object.
There we go. So there we go. Which for her, crazily, because she's got such a big head, is just below the mouth. Normally it'd be either around near your stomach, I suppose, or but anyway, it's round their faces. There we go. And for the hedgehog, I don't know, somewhere in its fat body somewhere. Yep, there we go. Pretty much the center. So now if we play our game, hooray, look at the kids, yay, happy, happy, happy kids. So we'll add the trampoline in a second.
We might need to get them like a little sick bag like you on aeroplane.
Yeah. Yes, I think
It looked like you just batted
just
the character off the screen.
get her out the way. Right, now I'm going to put in an active object, which isn't going to stay active. It's going to be static, but it needs to be above other items, so and change. So here is. Oh, do you remember I made it twice the size? I need to make it back to 800 by 480. There we go. So this is the Bouncy Castle. There we go. I want it to kind of pulsate, to go big, small, and I had a quick think about that, and I thought if the action point's in the dead center, just the very dead center of it, and I'll pop it back into the right place, I can use scale to make it stretch and shrink. Now, there's lots of different maths that we can use. Now, I'm going to use something called the sine wave. Now, a sine wave is just the classic curve up, down, up, down, up, down bumps. And the reason that it looks like that, let's see if I can have a quick draw and show you. So let me just grab a picture of the screen. There we go. And then hopefully I can, yep, you can, hopefully I can, there we go, move it. So a sine wave, let's get a big tip, yeah, thickness, thick, right. And let's make it probably a different color so you can see it. I'll do it in black. As the number goes up on the screen, so say if we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and going up, the sine wave would go up and curve and down and curve. So it's a mathematical function that as numbers get higher in it, it gets further along the curve. It's a repeating pattern. So if you have the number 0 in it, or the number 180 in it, or 360 in it, I think you get the same. I think you get 0 as the answer. But if you have 90 in it and minus 90, then you get 1 or minus 1, depending. This is minus 1 down here, and this is 1 here. So it's just a pattern. That's all it is. It's a mathematical pattern, the sine wave. And we're going to use that. We're going to say that every hundredth of a second, so I'll do it really quickly, we're going to add to a value. We're going to add to just a value that's stored in the Bouncy Castle. And let's name it Bouncy. And let's call its value sine wave. So we're just adding to sine wave. Sine wave is going to go up and up and up and up like forever until it can't count anymore. And what we're going to do is we're going to then base its scale. Oh, it's just behind TJ here. Let me shuffle TJ out of the way. So, there we go. Then we set its scale. We're going to set the scale. I'll move you back now, TJ. To be the sine, which is written SI. The short version is SIN for sine. There it is. The sine of the value that we got. And that's it. So that number will change between -1 and 1. So that's too much for us. We don't want the whole thing to double in size and then to go inverse in size and reverse its size. That would be bizarre. So we're now going to times that by the maximum size it can change by. So we're going to times that by 0.2, like a fifth. Okay. So it's now going to grow and shrink to a fifth. And I'm just going to say 1 plus that sine wave, a fifth of that sine wave, which theoretically should work. Let's run it. It might be really slow, and I'll show you how you speed that up. So there we go. It's getting bigger, 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 smaller, 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 smaller. It's going too small. Bigger, 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 smaller, smaller, smaller. Okay? So that's a bug there. It's getting too small. And the reason it's getting too small is because it's getting to 4/5, 1 minus a fifth of its size. So let's make it so that it's 1.2. So the smallest it gets to is its original size. So the scale is built so that 1 is 100%. There we go. Do you think it's growing and shrinking too much, TJ? Or do you think it just needs to do it faster?
I think maybe...
Should we try it twice as fast?
Slightly less, and...
Yep.
I don't think the speed's too bad.
Okay. So if we wanted to zoom in slightly less, it's just this. We will times it by 1/10. There we go. Do it that way. And it will grow and shrink to up to 1/10 of its size. So let's have a look. Bit faster, bit slower. I'm going to show you just how you do it faster. We're adding 1 to the sine wave, and like I said, the faster the number increases, the further along the sine wave it comes. So if I add 2 to it, it will do it twice as fast. So now if we run the application, there we go. Twice as fast. Good. Great. But it's in our way. I'll call that bug fixed. And it's in our way. So I'm just going to order it to the back. Now if I run our application, there we go. Oh, I got the hedgehog. Wee. Now, I'm not sure whether the kids should be able to collide together. Currently they can't. But we can work that out.
So, I was... when do you want me to do the chocolate challenge?
Oh. Perfect time now, TJ.
So, my question of the day is, if you are stressed, what do you do to calm down? What do you do to de-stress yourself?
Very good. Great. So, get your answer in there. TJ will choose the best answer. And you're winning a dairy bar? No, a Milky Bar. Milky Bar.
Another way to de-stress: eat Milky Bar.
Yeah, although
It's not scientifically proven, but
with that high level of sugar, I think you'll only be able to eat a certain amount before the sugar kicks in, and I'm not sure sugar counts as a de-stressor. Don't know. Just not a scientist, but it might do, might not. So we've got the kids, and we've got the hedgehog. Now, what I wanted to do before focusing on, when the kids appear, when the hedgehogs appear, and sort of the danger of hitting the hedgehog back onto the trampoline rather than away. Before that, I wanted to talk about the idea of stress. I feel that when you get stressed, you don't actually notice things around you. So, a bit like anger, they say like a red mist comes down and you only see. A bit with stress, you kind of enclose yourself. More and more stressed I get, the more and more when people are talking to me, I'm like, I can't listen. I've got too much to do. So I want to emulate that. So in Photoshop, I'm going to use this this canvas. Now I'm going to make a new one actually. So I'm going to make a new canvas, sort of a new blank space. Now 800. Let's times it by 4. So let's do the maths on that. 8 times 4, 24. Are we saying? So no, 32. 32. Thank you. People shouting 32 at me. 32. So 800 will be 3200. And the height 480 times 4. It's a bit harder. So what's that going to be? Let's do it 500. 500 times 4, it's 2,000. And then if we wanted to minus the extra 80 from it, 1,000. No, not the extra 80 from it. 20. Yeah, 20 times 4 minus 80. Oh, man.
So we have an answer in chat.
Yeah?
They use a stress ball.
Oh, great. Just
optimum use.
Very good. Very good, fantastic.
And it's a pug. The stress ball is a pug.
Oh, now what's your views on that, TJ?
I do like pugs. I imagine it's a very cute stress ball, so that must help towards calming down.
Yeah, totally. You go, I'm so mad. I'll go.
Oh, there's a little pug.
Good, great, fantastic. I'm going to. So I want to show that the screen is closing off. I've done that thing of creating a white background. Here we go. I want a transparent one. So I'm going to use the gradient tool. Gradient means changing from one thing to another. I'm then going to say that the gradient tool is black, and I'm then going to say the gradient tool is a circle, and then I want it inverted. I want it, how do I invert that? I want it so that it's black on one side. Foreground to transparent. I want transparent to foreground. Do I just slide these? Seems to work. Yeah, I think I do. Right, okay. So I just reverse it, which means that, there we go. Look at that. I should be able to create an area that you can see, and then the rest is dark. Now, it's not. There we go. That's it. I need to really darken it so that, there we go. That's it. So I wanted to be able to close in. I'm going to save this as a PNG as well. And I'm going to save this as stress view. Now in Clickteam, we've spoken about layers before, putting things on top. We're going to add an extra layer. So this is on top of everything. So the stress covers everything, even the score and the time, everything. All encompassing. So there's the stress view. I just add it in, and I should be able to, there we go. I should be able to set this, make sure the center's in the center. I should be able to position it in the center, which will be half of 800, half of 480. There we go. There we go. Now I've got an issue that I'm still cutting off when we play the game. No, I think that's all right. It's still a bit dark though, isn't it? I'm just going to go back to here and just go back a couple of steps and just see if I can adjust. And adjustments throughout a game are really common, aren't they, TJ?
Aye.
All the way through making adjustments. Oh, there we go. That's my issue. I need to make this normal. There we go. There we go. That's better. And I need to make it so that the fade is much smoother.
I can just picture James Bond walking past it now.
Good, good. There we go. Right. Yeah, from the yeah. Sorry, a bit slow on the GoldenEye reference. Or there you go. Do you know what? I'm going to give up on a gradient tool. All I'm going to do is cut out a hole. It'll be much simpler. I'm going to fill it black, cut out a hole, and use that feathering before. So the feathering to make it fuzzy around the edges. So make it fuzzy by, I don't know, 150. And so that I can get a clear circle with fuzz around it. Get it dead center. Boom. There we go. Too big. Get it dead center. Boom. There we go. Does look a little bit like a TV set from the 1960s now. I'm just going to put it... I'm going to save over stress view, and Click Team Fusion won't update itself. Once it imports pictures, once it saves pictures in, it doesn't update them automatically. You've got to reload them. So I'll just reload it again. And position it again. Go through the whole... Oh no, I don't need to position it again. Shouldn't have done that. I just needed to put the hotspot in the center. And then I now need to reposition it again. 240. Great. That's much less fuzzy. So we're going to use the scale trick again. And this time we're going to get the stress view to get smaller and smaller. So I'm just going to have it just every second it shrinks. We're going to do that. Now you'll have noticed that the stress view, well, you won't have because I'm in the way. You'll notice the stress view just up there has still got a picture of a diamond. Now that's because I uploaded some artwork which was so big for Click Team Fusion it just didn't bother to draw its own icon. And if you ever want to make your own icon, you need to go down there to the about properties and edit that. So I'm just going to draw a black circle here to represent the stress view. There we go. Now it means that I can clearly see in here what's happening. So every second stress view, I'm going to set its scale, which is the size it is, to be what it currently is. So start off what it currently is and take away something. Set it's the scale of the width, X scale, minus 0.01. So in 100 seconds, it will have shrunk to nothing. It's going to be quite quick. Let's have a look. Let's watch this field of stress should get darker and darker around the edges. Darker and darker around the edges. Darker and darker around the edges. Yep, you can see that the score's getting harder to see now. Not the score, yeah, the score and the time's getting harder to see. And things are closing in. Things are closing in. Bit slowly though. Oh no, it's creeping more. It's creeping more, but maybe let's just speed that effect up massively. So let's make it 5 times faster. So I put a 5 there rather than a 1. Let's just watch that happen. You can see it getting darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. Good. That's working. Great. Fantastic. Great. So we've got the mechanic there, as in we've got something that can work for your stress view. So we can make it that every time you hit a hedgehog, maybe that's when your stress view decreases. So maybe I should have just left that at the top, that command, but I deleted it. Anyway, I'll just get it back. Set it to be whatever its current scale is, minus 0.05. Good, and there we go. So that every time we hit this hedgehog, we make it worse for ourselves. Great. We'll add some stuff into the game there, and sort it out. So so that I don't know what I'm saying now. Sorry, that's my brain stopped working. I was so focused in. So TJ, have we got someone who's won the chocolate challenge?
Yes, we do. Stress ball, definitely. You have won. So
let us know an address.
We already have
We do, but let us know. I'm not posting them out unless they confirm that they want it sent to them, because we've had some people be lovely. We've had chocolate donated to food banks and other things. So if you do want it, nice, and you've won, do let us know what address to post it to, because people have sent them to their friends, people have sent them to relatives, to food banks, which is really kind of you, and we really appreciate it. Okay, well, we've got one more session to go for this, and another week before the end of term. Thank you for joining us. A very photo editing heavy session today, but it does look quite sweet, and we'll sort out the rest of the gameplay. TJ, any wise words?
If you are going to be stressed at any point before you see us Friday, just remember that you will see us Friday and that you have another session to look forward to.
That's it. And if you find these sessions stressful, like sometimes me and TJ, just remember you've still got a whole day away before you have to be stressed again. Yes. So there we go. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the intro we did for the show, but we're not musical, as you may know. So we'll keep it just for a bit, as we do have words that kind of fit. If you can, make a better one, send it in, and that'll be fun, because we'll use it, get everyone laughing, because this one is embarrassing. TJ, I thought you could dance at this bit.
No.
TJ, are you dancing?
No, I'm not.
So come along and watch us code, make some stuff, and help you know that not much rhymes with draft will make game for a laugh.
Yeah.